massive meteor suddenly crashes into the forgotten land. Its impact causes a strange volcanic island to rise from the ocean. To seal away an impending evil, Kirby must now gather the Starries, fragments of stars scattered across the land.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, The Lens of Truth with me, Ivan Florentino. And for today's video, here is a review of Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, plus Star-Crossed World. But before we get started, consider hitting the like button, ringing the bell, and leaving a comment. So let's begin with the original Kirby and the Forgotten Land, which came out on the Nintendo Switch 3 years ago. And not only was it one of the best Kirby games that released in a long time, it's one of the first full open 3D games in the Kirby series on a console, and they did a really good job with it. Not only did the game look great visually, artistically, the music, how creative it was, and the fact that it also ran smoothly even though it was only at 30 frames per second. This game was one of the must-haves for the Nintendo Switch in your library. So what you may be asking is, what does this $20 upgrade or $80 for the entire base game? And it actually does add a lot of content for just $20.
Break crystals scattered throughout stages to discover new paths. Rescue the Starries at the end of each stage to open up the next one.
So when I streamed this game, it came out to around 5 hours, and that was with me not getting everything in the brand new stages that they added. So I know that there's at least a good 7 hours if you want to do a 100% completion of this DLC. Now with this Star-Crossed World Edition, there's 3 new transformations that work seamlessly well into the game, like Sign Mouth, the Spring Jump, and the Gear ability, and these are all integrated very well. And surprisingly, some of these were challenging, especially the Gear ability where you had to spider crawl up the walls, and I actually fell so many times when using that ability, but it was fun nonetheless. Now when it comes to difficulty, I know that a lot of the enemies and some of the reused bosses got a little bit more of an HP boost and harder hitting attacks, but those actually never really affected me much because I was fully upgraded from the base game and never really died until maybe the very end, where the last boss was very tricky.
The upgrade expands on the original game and adds a brand new story called Star-Crossed World.
And although the game starts off fairly okay with the first 2 stages opening up just like the original did, it slowly opens itself up into the creative part when all of the crystals and the crystal roads start revealing themselves, and there's a lot of verticality in the stages as well. So I do like how they reuse the stages, but they do feel completely new and fresh, which was a huge plus. And also the music completely changes and it fits the tone very well. Not only does the game now run at a solid 60 frames per second and at 1440p, as well as the base game, the game looks even better than it did before. Everything is sharper, it's less blurry, and a lot of the enemies, objects in the far distance, which used to run at the half frame rate of 15 frames, now are a lot more smoother, and everything just feels like it's cohesive and runs perfectly well. Now with the negatives, there are a few nitpicks. Even though the add-on is only $20, some might feel like it's not long enough. The price tag I feel like justifies it because, like I said, this can take up to 7 hours for a full 100% complete run with all the collectibles. and things that you can do in every stage. I had a lot of fun, but again, adding to the negatives, also they reused a lot of those mini bosses and there was actually no new ones, which was a huge disappointment and a missed opportunity to create at least one or two brand new bosses. However, where they make up for this is in the Ultimate Z Cup EX, where not only do the mini bosses and the main bosses from the story get a huge overhaul in their looks and the attacks that they do. This was very tough. I was able to get through 12 of them before I actually lost. And it was really tough, but it put up a great challenge and something else to do after completing the DLC. And with a lot of new figures to collect, I feel like $20 is a fair asking price for this add-on. And for anyone who hasn't even played the base game on the original Switch, this is a must-have game because it's one of the best games Kirby has had in a long time. The new Mouthful Mode transformations from the base game and the DLC now round out the package, and the stages get super creative with what you can do, and Kirby just looks even more adorable than before. Now, comment down below if you guys are a fan of the Kirby series and if you guys have picked up this game and the DLC. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one. Bye.
Kirby and the Forgotten Land Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Star-Crossed World launches on Nintendo Switch 2 August 28th. Nintendo Switch 2 players who already have Kirby and the Forgotten Land on Nintendo Switch can upgrade to Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Star-Crossed World by purchasing the upgrade pack.